But all eyes is on that one big counter, the deal that has been impending for a while, and that is Axis Bank and Citibank deal. And if you can look at the stock price of Axis Bank, the street is definitely giving a thumbs up to $1.6 billion Axis Citibank deal. Brokerages are saying that the bank is making the acquisition at an attractive price and is expected to be ROA accretive. My colleague Soumit Sarkar is here to take us through the contours of the deal before we get our market experts' perspective. Soumit?
Well, firstly, Axis Bank will be acquiring Citi Banks and Citi Corp Finance's assets for nearly 12,300 crore rupees. Now, according to the brokerages, the deal is valued at around 19 times its 2020 net profit of close to 840 crore rupees. Now, this deal could take around 9 to 12 months to close, and post-closure, which is expected to happen in the fourth quarter of financial year 2023, it could take another 18 months for the transition time to end. Now, what are the costs and the savings? Now, Axis Bank is estimating a integration cost of close to 1,500 crore rupees and savings of around 30 to 40% on the operational cost of around 2,300 crore rupees over the next 2 years. Now, what is Axis Bank getting out of this deal? First, it will get the consumer loan worth nearly 27,000 crore rupees, liquid assets worth nearly 23,000 crore rupees, and this is on the asset side. While on the liability side, Axis Bank will acquire deposits worth nearly 50,200 crore rupees, of which 81% is CASA ratio. Now, on the credit card business, which is the key driver of this deal, it will get nearly 2.5 million credit cards and with a loan of nearly 8,900 crore rupees. On the wealth management business, it gets an AUM of close to 1.1 lakh crore rupees. And other than this, it also gets the loan business, the insurance distribution business, and the small banking business. Now, how will Axis Bank stand post this deal? On the credit card space, which is the key driver of the deal, its market share will be very close to the third number. Its market share will stand at around 16%, while Axis Bank stands at around third rank with market share of close to 18%. On the credit card loan portfolio, that increases by 57%, the advances increases by 4%, the deposits increase by 6.5%, while the CASA proportion, now that increases by around 2 percentage points to close to 47%. The wealth management AUM, now that increases by nearly 41%, and it will become the third largest wealth portfolio and the wealth manager on the street. Lastly, its CET1 ratio, now that falls by around 2.3 percentage points.
Thank you so much for that, Soumit, for taking us through the contours of the Axis Citibank deal. But let's get on board our experts for today. We have Kunal Bothra as well as Mr. G. Chokkalingam joining us. Good morning, Mr. Chokkalingam, as well as Kunal, for joining us on the show. And Mr. Chokkalingam, I'll come first to you. Axis Bank, Citibank deal, we've been waiting for it for a while now. It's finally, they've announced it. The street is giving a thumbs up to Axis Bank. Brokerages as well are positive on Axis. So what's your take on Axis Bank deal, and how much do you think it will benefit them?
Yeah, certainly. This is a brilliant move from Axis Bank management. The only risk is in the integration of employees from Citibank with Axis Bank. So subject to that risk, I believe it is going to be extremely positive for Axis Bank. You have to understand, the structural changes happening in the banking sector to appreciate this deal. To be very brief, there are 4 major structural changes are happening in the banking industry. The banking credit, which used to grow at 20%, became 17, then 13, and it remained around double digit. But now, pandemic time, it fell to 5%. Now it recovered to 8%, but it is likely to be in poor single digit. So the growth prospects of the industry itself has come down a lot. Second, you saw the entry of fintech companies eating away some saving back accounts or the cash balances of the banks, because they are capturing a big market share in the payment solutions. Third, you saw the small finance banks, particularly microfinance companies, converting into bank and adding a lot more competition. Fourth, the consolidation of PSB banks. Now they have consolidated into 8 banks. So do not rule out a stiff competition from these banks in next 1 to 2 years. I'm pretty sure the government will bring in a private party stakeholder as well as professionals to give tough competition to private banks. So in this background, this is a brilliant deal. And the second, it gives big scale, as your colleague has mentioned. The wealth management business will go up by somewhere around 37%. The card also will bring another 25 lakh customers, and it will also get into insurance broking. So it gets sales, scale, diversification, which again positive. Third, you need to understand that Axis Bank was started as a UTI bank, primarily with the indirect support of the government. So it was perceived as a government bank. So therefore, the customer profile was also different. Now the Citibank brings affluent customers, which is a big positive, which can lead to re-rating of the bank. Fourth, the CASA deposit of Citibank is around 81%. So this would be positive for Axis. The low-cost deposits will increase. And as your colleague also mentioned, the valuation is also not exorbitant. It's around 19 times profit, and Axis is already trading at around 18 times profit. Even HDFC Bank is around 19 times. So the valuation is also very fair. So therefore, I believe next 2 to 3 years, the successful integration of Citibank with Axis Bank will make a big game changer, because Axis trades at a 2 times price to book value. I am sure once they successfully complete this integration, this can vertically shift to even three times price to adjusted book value in 2 to 3 years.
All right, so that's the take coming in from Mr. Chokkalingam on Axis Bank. And Kunal, over to you. How does Axis Bank look on the charts? Do you think this is one of the private banks that one must have in their portfolio?
So I think the stock has been an underperformer. Now, in the last 6 months, 1 year, it's underperformed a lot of the other private sector banks as well. So it's not been into a sweet spot as such in that kind of a time frame. But then the short-term charts are getting into a zone where the stock is, showing signs of breakouts for itself. Momentum indicators, specifically the modified RSI, for example, for Axis Bank is heading towards or indicating a strong breakout for the stock price. We've seen such previous breakouts shaping up on the stock, and that's resulted to at least an 8 to 10% kind of an average move on Axis Bank. So from day before yesterday's closing price, if we try and calculate a similar kind of a move, we could be looking at the stock hitting maybe 800, 825 over the very near term. So the stock has been a big underperformer. We would need the many of the private sector banks to try and fire up together, and possibly I think Axis Bank could be one of the other stocks which can also do the same.